Hey guys, we're live. I'm excited to get this to you guys and to share a bit today in this live YouTube video. I'm also streaming it to my private Facebook group. What some of the supplements are that I take. Actually, all of the supplements that I take. I think it's a fun topic, and it's something that's constantly changing. So I did create a video about a year and a half ago now. I think the title is The Surprisingly Few Supplements That I Take. And it is just very few. There's not a lot that I take compared to what is offered out there. There are ridiculous amounts of supplements on the market. I think a bunch of them are just not necessary at all. So I'm going to get into all of that. Basically, the outline here. So if you're watching this live, or if you are watching the replay of this, so I'll evergreen this to make sure everyone gets a chance to see this. I am going to go through everything that I take as a supplement, as a 3 times now CrossFit Games Champion, where I used to be able, I got really used to saying 2 times CrossFit Games Champion, but I did just win my 3rd consecutive title just over a week ago. So that feels pretty dang good. If any of the questions that you want to ask are, what does it feel like to win the CrossFit Games for a 3rd time? It feels good. And if anyone is wondering if it was any different, did I walk in any more confident than years past? Was I nervous? All of the things. I was nervous. I was worried after the first 2 events. And it's just a battle of a weekend. So it still feels good. And I think 3 titles in a row sounds good. Sounds really good. But I obviously have to go for 4 next year. So I am going to stay healthy. I'm actually in the middle of an off season right now, starting an off season. So last week I kept it pretty light. I did a couple of Mayhem bodybuilding workouts. So if you work with Mayhem, and by the way, Mayhem, I do have a link for Mayhem. It'll be in the show notes or the notes, the description below. But there's a discount if you're interested in Mayhem. There's like 8 or 9 programs if you just sign up for Mayhem Athlete. I normally follow Mayhem Masters because it gets me prepared for the games. Right now, I'm going to follow Mayhem Bodybuilding just to give my body something different as a stimulus. And I'm also going to be training for a half Ironman 70.3 that I'm planning to do September 25th in Augusta, Georgia. I think that'll be really fun. It's the fastest swim in a triathlon because you are swimming in a river with the flow of the river. Clearly not with any rapids, but it should be a really good time. So that is my off season. I'm going to do that for the next month or so. And then I will be kicking it back into full gear, full training. I'll actually, during this time, I will go through the Legends qualifiers. I'll go through all of them. I've already accepted an invite to compete at the Legends Masters Championship, but I did agree to do the qualifiers as well. So, why not? That'll be fun. I posted to Instagram. I have a ton of questions, a ton of responses from Ask Me Anything on supplements. So in about a minute, I'm going to share exactly what supplements I take so that I'm going to cover a lot of those questions. And then I'm going to go through the Instagram feed to grab questions that came up. I'm also going to answer questions that come up in the live chat. And I've just jumped into the live chat. Thank you guys for all of the congratulations. Hello in Idaho, Brandon. Great to see you, man. Ben, thank you. Yeah, Polygon Parade. Thank you so much, Jose. Appreciate that. Ben, thank you. And it's fellow Mayhem athletes. We're all out there. Really fun. So, okay, let's jump into this. Let's talk about the supplements that I take. I start with, let's just start with this. The whole idea of a supplement is that we are really aiming to eat food and have supplements be something in addition to eating healthy food, eating an appropriate diet for our performance, for our goals, for what we're trying to accomplish in our life. So first and foremost, it doesn't matter what you take as a supplement. If you're eating like garbage, if you're not eating the correct macronutrient breakdown for your goals and your daily activity, and what you're doing for training, supplements won't matter at all. Literally, just don't even worry about them if you're not eating correctly. If you're not sleeping well, like if you just don't sleep well at all, if you're not getting a good amount of sleep, but an appropriate amount of sleep, supplements won't matter. And obviously, if you're not training, supplements don't matter, So you have to have the foundation laid first. Like fitness, nutrition, and sleep will trump everything, absolutely everything. I do get questions all the time, like, hey, are ice baths beneficial? Should I get in a hot tub? Should I do some sauna work? Yeah, those are all great. But if you're not eating correctly, if you're not training, and if you're not sleeping, none of that stuff matters. None of it. So nutrition, if you need help on that, y'all know at this point that that's something that I do. It's in my wheelhouse. So just send me a message and we can work on nutrition. But that's the foundation. Then we think of supplements as in addition to, or supplementing what we eat. So actually start off with the first one that I don't have on the table here, but I don't eat grains generally at all. So I have 200 plus grams of protein every day. And I get most of that from food. I will talk about the protein supplement that I use to help me hit those protein goals every day. I get carbohydrates from a lot of fruit that I eat, lots of bananas, apples, peaches, watermelon. When it's whatever's in season, whatever I can get my hands on, I use as a carbohydrate for fruits. I also use sweet potatoes, or generally any type of potato, to help me get carbohydrates, but I do supplement. I supplement some of my daily intake with white rice. White rice is just a starch. There's literally hardly any nutritional value in it. It's like 1 or 2 steps above gummy bears, but it doesn't have a lot of grain protein in it. So I like to use that rice as a way of supplementing or helping me get to my carbohydrate goals. Daniel, hello from Kansas. Talon 3316, Karina, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys jumping in tonight. I absolutely appreciate it. So one of the first, and this, I get a question about this all the time. One of the first supplements that I started taking and has been beneficial since I started is creatine. So creatine is one of the most tested. This is creatine. This is Thorne creatine. It literally doesn't matter. I go with creatine monohydrate. It is a powder. It's a very fine powder, honestly. And if you get one like this, here's the scooper. That is the serving size, about that much. Maybe shake it a little bit. This goes into anything. It doesn't matter. I could put it in my coffee. I have for years put it in my water. Lately, I put it in my protein shake. It doesn't matter when you take protein. It doesn't matter, or creatine. It doesn't matter when. It's just that you take it consistently every day. Okay. Creatine monohydrate. I do not cycle onto it. I don't cycle off of it. I literally just started taking the daily dose like 7 years ago. Let's see, I'm 46, so 38. Whatever that math is, I was probably 39 when I started taking creatine, and I've just taken it ever since. It's been really, really beneficial. As far as a well-tested supplement, it's probably one of the most widely tested, widely documented supplements. There is no side effects. There's no long-term side effects, which is great. You always want to think like, okay, maybe this has some short-term gains, but over the long term, has this done anything for people? And studies have shown that it has a dramatic effect over the long term, very little side effects, and no long-term problems, no side effect. Well, there is a potential side effect. When you're cycling on, it can actually get a little disruptive to your stomach. I mean, it's just something that happens. I don't remember if it happened when I cycled on at all, or when I started taking it, but it can happen, but it goes away. Also, creatine does cause a little bit of water retention. So I don't care. I don't care about water retention. I don't really care about how much I take. I just take it, I don't care how much I weigh. Like if I retain 2 pounds of water, I don't care. Literally doesn't matter. The benefits outperform the consequences, if that makes sense. If that's the right way of saying it. Okay, so that's creatine. That's first thing. The other thing I take before working out is beta alanine. So beta alanine has been shown to improve performance, improve aerobic performance. I think the whole world bought up almost all of the beta alanine. Maybe a year ago, Matt Frazier was on the Joe Rogan podcast, and he said the beta alanine was like a third lung. So of course I jumped down and I bought it. Everyone bought beta alanine. It's something that I just take the dose. It says take 3 capsules before working out. That's what I take before working out. At the CrossFit Games, I took 3 capsules before each event, as long as I remembered. I think I forgot once or twice. But can I definitively say that there's a difference between working out with beta alanine or performing without beta alanine? I can't tell you precisely if there's a difference. Where I could say creatine has been a big influence. I believe creatine has made a big dramatic effect on my life. Beta alanine is one of those like, if it was really expensive, I probably wouldn't even play with it. I wouldn't even care. Does that make sense? Like if it was really expensive, but it's not that expensive. So I do take it. I bought like 4 of these a year ago, and I think I have 2 full containers left. So it doesn't take much. All right. So that's beta alanine. That's a good one. As far as hydration, post-workout, I tend to, and a lot of you know about my recovery drink. So I'm going to talk about 2 different recovery drinks. I'm going to talk about my homemade recovery drink that's essentially free. It's very, very cheap, and it's very effective at recovery. It's not complete in its rehydration effects, but it's pretty darn good. Okay. Let me check this creatine question. Okay. Let's see. Dosage on beta alanine, honestly, whatever it says on the container. So this is Now Formula. Now Sports, 3 capsules is the dosage on that. So that's 3 capsules gets me about 7 grams. Yep. No, a serving is 2.25 grams. That's 3 capsules, 2.25 grams on this. There was a question on creatine. Let's see. The benefits of creatine. Okay, got it. Ben, I just want to catch this before I move on. The benefits of creatine, and you just Google it. But creatine is essentially helping add to the ATP, which is the energy source that causes your muscles to actually activate to do things. So it gives you an abundance of that compound. So it ideally increases your ability to do the work. That's essentially why people take creatine. It's not like it doesn't add to your protein. It's not something you would add to your overall caloric intake for the day. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It is literally adding the building blocks ATP to your system in order to perform better on a muscular level. All right. That's as detailed as I can get. And again, let me just preface all of this with, this is what I do. I'm not a medical doctor. I am talking about my experience with the things that I use and have performed. These things have performed well for me in my life. Does that make sense? So I just want to be really clear on that this is not necessarily advice. It's just, this is what I use, just what I use. Ben, great question. Just more work results faster. So if you can accomplish more work in your particular workout, you will get stronger faster. That's the whole idea behind creatine. I think you could probably get there without it, but it will increase your capacity over time because you're getting more work done. You're able to do more, which then causes you to get a little bit better. So, yeah, this is a good one. Polygon Parade. I like unflavored creatine. I mean, it's creatine monohydrate. I don't want to say the cheapest version, but probably like the 3rd cheapest version you could find on Amazon. It's the same stuff. It doesn't matter. If it says creatine monohydrate on it, you are good to go. I do prefer to go with reputable sources. I know that Thorne is a reputable source. These guys sponsored the CrossFit Games last year and this year. They produce a clean product. You don't want to have any of these things have any like tarnishment in it, any tainted supplements, which is why I try not to take hardly any supplements, because we don't want anything sneaky getting in there. All right. So my recovery drink, here is how I stay hydrated post-workout with my home brewed recovery drink. So I get a shaker bottle of water. Okay. I didn't grab a shaker bottle in here. Shaker bottle of water. And I add 2 tablespoons of vegetable glycerin. Vegetable glycerin helps your muscles and your body absorb water. Okay. I also add salt. I choose pink Himalayan sea salt because it has a little bit broader mineral profile. but regular table salt works just fine. And this is up to a tablespoon. A tablespoon. Oh my God. Could you imagine? Up to a teaspoon of salt, up to a teaspoon of sea salt. I struggle with that much salt. It's too salty for me. If it tastes like salt, I do not like it. So I do about a half a teaspoon of that salt in the drink and a tablespoon of sugar. So we got a tablespoon of sugar. For me, a half a teaspoon of salt, any kind of salt, 2 tablespoons of vegetable glycerin, 20 ounces of water. Shake it, shake it, shake it. I drink that after every workout. If I have that with me, if I have that available, I have to pre-make that at home because I'm not carrying all this stuff with me. I have to pre-make that at home. It has been a tried and true recovery drink for me over the years. I've absolutely loved it. I've not competed without it. It's with me always when I compete. However, recently I have yeah, see that. Yeah, totally. Some people just take creatine. I'm looking at the comments. Some people just take creatine and just chug it. Doesn't matter. You put it in water. It's water soluble. It just goes in. The other thing I do for hydration, if I don't have my hydration drink ready, but I'm on the go and I want proper hydration, I've just started taking Element. So Element is this LMNT. I will have, actually it's right now, I in the description, there is a coupon for this. It's drinkelement.com/Jason Grubb. You get like this sample pack, which has 8 samples in it. All of their different flavors. I actually have it right here. All of their flavors are all in there, so you can sample them when you place an order with Element using that /Jason Grubb. They'll give you this pack. So you get to taste all of them. So I really like the citrus salt, and I'm going to talk about why I like Element as opposed to the dozens of others versus Gatorade or all that other stuff. You know, they have citrus. What is it? Citrus salt is great. Orange salt, I've really enjoyed. Raspberry salt, basically any fruit and salt has been fine. I did do raw unflavored the other day, and it was okay. It was a little bit tough because it's literally just a lot of salt. Chocolate salt, and I've got 2 chocolate salts here. This last one is a watermelon salt. So what these have is 1,000 milligrams of sodium. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for sodium, but this also has 200 milligrams of potassium, 60 milligrams of magnesium. Those are the other 2 building blocks for rehydration. And so I love this because I can take it with me. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I was up on a beach at Lake Michigan. I didn't want to build my recovery drink beforehand. So I just took an empty shaker bottle of water, a shaker bottle full of water and an Element. I did my open water swim, came back, filled it up, chugged the water. And I don't sip it. I just chug it. I'm looking for rehydration. Rehydration, staying hydrated. Salt is proving to be an incredible performance supplement. So we do need salt. Salt doesn't kill us. FYI, this little side note. And you could do your own research on this, but salt does not kill us. Salt is very good for us. Sugar kills us. I did say sugar in my last drink, but it's literally 12 grams of carbohydrates of sugar. That's it. That's all the sugar. But salt is very good for us. It's essential for us. And one of the things that happens when I start working with someone on nutrition, they stop eating garbage, they stop eating processed foods, and they start making their own food and eating like real actual food. And they often forget how much salt is needed in our lives. So like my whole advice is like salt your food. Salt all your food really well. You want to do that. You want salt in your recovery drink as much as you can tolerate. If you're making my homebrew recovery drink, like if you can get a teaspoon in there, that's what you're looking for, or an Element. Basically, this is a very salty recovery drink. The potassium and magnesium doesn't have flavor, but the salt certainly does. And the fruit flavor helps mask that. And I like it. It's a really good drink. So that's what I do when I'm out and about. So that's where we've got Element. Let me just check the comments here, guys. Oh, cool. Brian St. John posted a little bit about beta-alanine. Great. Anthony, I am going to address testosterone, TRT, those kinds of things in a couple of minutes. As soon as I get through these, I'm going to answer questions because I think that's a great question. TRT, what do we do about that? What do we do about testosterone? What do we do about performance-enhancing supplements? Those kinds of things. Hey, Jesse, welcome from Houston. Okay, so Brian says... interest in more science of beta-alanine, good research article. That's awesome. 3 to 6 milligrams per day seems to be the norm. Thanks for sharing that, brother. I appreciate that. Do I take turmeric or fish oil? I'm going to get there. I will get there. I'll show you. Let's see. What's next on my list? We got element covered, whey protein. So I try to eat all the protein that I can, but I'm looking for well over 200 grams of protein a day. So 200 grams of protein, if I'm eating meat, is about 2 pounds of lean meat. 2 pounds. And I would love to eat that much meat, whether it's chicken, breast, chicken thighs, pork, pork chops. I don't really like that much, but like burger, ground burger, steak, all of those things, I love to, but I can't digest. I can't eat that much. So I try to get about 150 grams of protein to 175 grams of protein from my protein sources that I eat, including eggs in the morning. Outside of that, I do whey protein. I use Black Label supplements. They are a huge supporter of Masters athletes. That's why I like these guys. I do have a link below for Black Label. This is just hydrolyzed whey protein. It is highly refined protein. All right. This just goes right into the system. I'm not looking for anything fancy with my whey protein. This is a chocolate. What do I like here? It's cookies and cream. It just tastes like chocolate. I don't need anything fancy. I just drink this post-workout. So after I finish a training session, I literally drink a 20-ounce container with my recovery drink or with Element to rehydrate. And I also follow that up with a 20-ounce shaker of whey protein. Typically, if I'm driving or I'm just going to drink that, basically after I work out as well, I can just down 40 ounces. This is no problem for me. If I have 2 sessions in a day, I do both of those twice a day. Okay. It's just something that works for me, something really, really simple. But I do like Black Label. They're supporters of the Masters athletes. So I have a soft heart for those guys. So I just order their stuff. It's really, really good. All right. I'm going to share a controversial little performance enhancer that doesn't show up throughout my training year, but during the games training season, it's the 6 weeks prior to the CrossFit Games, I am training 5 hours a day, sometimes 6, mostly like 5, 2 sessions. It's grueling for 6 weeks or so. At the games or when I'm competing, if there's multiple events, I will use this as well. It is essential in my mind in getting glucose right back into my system. I want glucose coming in, so we might as well just talk about it. These guys, pure garbage is what this is. This is just straight up garbage. But the first ingredient is glucose, which is exactly what I want in my system for long, grueling workouts at the games. Long, grueling training sessions. This is helpful, empowering. I don't need to eat much, but 13 pieces is 100 calories, and I'll probably have 1 or 2 handfuls before every event at the games. Just kind of standard. This is a heavy bag, but that is it. They are not a sponsor, by the way. If they want to be, if you know anybody, just let me know, and we'll make that happen. Okay, now it's past the evening. It's time to chill out, time to calm down, time to go to bed. What do I take before bed? So I historically used to take magnesium before bed. And again, we're thinking of supplements. This is something outside of my everyday diet that I take. All right. And let's see, Eric's comment. Did I miss Eric K? Oh, Eric. Oh gosh, that's a great question. Yeah, Eric. Can I make a comment about kidney transplants or renal disease? Checking with the doc about the salt. Yes, sir. I will make a comment about that. Yeah, if you have, this is great. And hi, Joe, by the way. I'm just going to point out Eric's comment on this live chat. I appreciate it. If you have any issues, any medical conditions, yes, check before any of this stuff, but especially on the salt thing. We want to watch that. Hey, Mark, thank you for jumping in. Jesse, protein. Do I have a bedtime protocol? This is a good question. I'm going to talk about that bedtime stuff. Are gummy bears a good pre-workout? Yeah, they're not bad, Jesse. They're not bad. I like them kind of mid-workout. My pre-workout is typically like a banana. I try to use fruit as more pre-workout. And then again, these are grueling sessions, pre-games, not every day when I'm using gummy bears. I'm trying to use actual fruit, nutrient-dense foods whenever I can. So bedtime stuff. I'm just taking a look through the comments, guys. I'm going to get to it. Gummy bears, #1 candy. Big Black Wolf. Caffeinated gummy bears would be great. I love that comment. Hey, Stu, I see you're here. Sleep help. Okay, sleep. Let's move on to sleep. I like to go with magnesium citrate. It doesn't matter really where you get this, but magnesium citrate is water soluble. Your body loves to absorb this. I take the daily amount. It's 3 capsules. 3 capsules is about 2.25 grams of, and again, I generally go with whatever a label says, because that's me. That's what I go for. I may do some additional research to see if there's more benefits to that, but I will go with what a label says. This is beta alanine. This is magnesium citrate, and this is 3 capsules, but 3 capsules is 400 milligrams. I was like, wow, that's the same as beta alanine. So this is magnesium citrate. This is the good stuff. There's lots of magnesiums. Most of them are bullshit. Going to keep this clean. Going to keep this channel clean. Most of them are bull. Magnesium citrate is the one you want. It is soluble. It's not just going to come through your digestive system out your tailpipe. This is going to get absorbed by your body. This is helpful for sleep and also generally in our everyday lives. Thinking of supplements in addition to the food we eat, we generally aren't getting quite enough magnesium in our lives. Neither are we getting enough vitamin D. So vitamin D3 is the vitamin D that I use. I like Now Formula. Obviously, it's the supplements I like. Vitamin D3 is the one we want. We want the gel caps. They look a lot like this. Oh man, can you see the gel caps? Yeah, there they are. So that's what we want, and we want to be careful. You don't want to overdo vitamin D. So I did start with 10,000 IUs to build up for about 2 weeks. And I did some research on this for me. Check it out for you. And then I dropped down to 2,000 IUs a day. And that's what I do for vitamin D. The whole idea of getting out in the sun and getting extra vitamin D is great. But after age 35, we don't absorb vitamin D as well as we did before that. So we still get a lot of benefits from getting up, getting out of bed, getting right into the sun. Our circadian rhythm is really dependent on light and on the sun. Jesse asked, how much sleep do I get? I try to hit 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep, sometimes over 8 hours of sleep. And when I get up in the morning, pour myself a cup of coffee. I try to get in the sun as quickly as possible to let my body know, like, it's time to be awake. That's what I go for. Yeah. Also, Mark asked me if I've tried honey or gummy bears under the tongue so it avoids digestion. I have not, but I do like honey. I do add honey to my yogurt. It's another insider tip. Make yogurt yummier by adding some honey. Helps me hit some carbs for the day. Jesse, you also asked tryptophan. So I used to take L-tryptophan every night as well. And I did that for years and years and years. And then I stopped taking it just to see if there was a difference. And I didn't notice a huge difference. But I have another thing to share that I have started taking, and I found it to be fantastic. It took over my magnesium, my L-tryptophan, as well. And it's just this Thirsties PM Recovery Collagen. So I'm just going to read you some of the ingredients in this. It's got some alanine. It's got glycine. These are all things that are great for us. It's got L-tryptophan. It's got magnesium in it as well. So it literally is covering, it's got collagen peptides. This is covering a lot of the bases that my L-tryptophan, my magnesium used to cover, and I just take that in this. So this was a company, Thirsties. Let me see if I can get it focused better. Cool. They have a link below. 25% off, I think, when you use my code. But they sent me it, and I was like, okay, I mean, I'll try it. I'll give it a shot. And it was amazing. It was like literally my Whoop recovery over the weeks into the months now that I've used it significantly increased. So I don't think that's placebo effect. I mean, the placebo effect is fine with me if it works, but damn, this stuff has been so good. It's a great company. I've gotten to know them quite a bit. So I really enjoyed the company, and I've really enjoyed the benefits of Thirdsy. Thirdsy, that's it. It's so good. I take it every night. It's just part of my thing. Like now I take it every night, about a half hour before I go to sleep. Sleep 7-8 hours, get up, get in the sun with a cup of coffee. All right. The link for the collagen, Jesse, will be in the description underneath this. Let's see. How much water do I drink a day? Okay, good question. Plain yogurt. Okay, so let's see. Did I cover all of my D3 Thirdsy? Yeah, there's Thirdsy. That's how you spell it, by the way. Code is Jason Grubb, I believe, but we've got it in the description below. I'm going to take a look at the comments. Anthony, Thirdsy, right? How great is it? It's crazy, Anthony. I know it's really crazy. Matthew, thank you so much for the content. You're welcome. Oh, cool. Huberman Lab podcast has an episode about creatine. We showed you may have helped prevent cognitive decline too. Good. More thumbs up on creatine. Let's see. So hydration. How much do I drink a day? So we don't need to overhydrate. Really, our body lets us know what and when we need to drink. But I do want to pay attention to it, particularly when I'm working out in the heat. But here's my general day of hydration. I get up, I drink 20 ounces of water with a splash of apple cider vinegar. I just like it. I hate the taste of water by itself. And years ago, I took some apple cider vinegar in my water to help deal with acid reflux. Totally solved that problem. I guess that could be a supplement, but it's just a little apple cider vinegar, like a splash in my water. Every drop of water I drink has apple cider vinegar in it. So I drink a little bit of that every day. I get up, I drink that. Then I have a cup of coffee. I generally have 2 or 3 cups of, maybe 4 cups of coffee. It's half decaf coffee. Then pre or with lunch, 20 ounces of water. Pre-workout, about 20 ounces of water. Post-workout, 40 ounces of water. One is a recovery drink. One is whey protein. With dinner, 20 ounces of water generally. Before bed, thirsties with 20 ounces of water. If I'm more thirsty, I drink more than that. But that's a typical day right there. Someone asked in the chat at some point, do all of my followers follow Mayhem training, or do they follow my training? So I do have training. This is just a random question. I have training on my website, which is primarily for masters athletes that are looking to get healthy and fit and basically launch themselves to a certain altitude, like to go from somewhat fit or not fit. I have multiple programs to very fit. And once you've been doing one of my programs, like my full gym program, for a year, then I can help guide you to what's next, whether you're working with me or you're working with Mayhem on that. As far as competitive training, I think Mayhem is the best. It's worked for me tremendously. So that's my thought on that. That was just a question that came up. But there are a lot of dudes and ladies that follow my programming for just getting started. They go with the body weight program to help build a solid core and overall strength, overall just basically fitness, minimal equipment. If they're looking to aim to become CrossFitters, get competitive, they go into my full gym. Mel, you asked, did I speak about creatine already? Is it okay for women over 50? Yes, I did talk about it. And it's my opinion and my understanding that, yes, it's okay for women over 50. You will want to just double check that yourself. For me, at age 47, I've had 0 issues, 0 side effects taking it for the last 7-8 years. But again, like someone said in one of the comments earlier, if you have any medical conditions, any medical concerns, just check with your doctor. It's no big deal. Normally, you can just send an email through some sort of online portal. All right, questions that came in through Instagram. Just going to glance at them really quick to see if there's anything in there that I didn't touch on. What's my number one supplement? Creatine, for sure. Talked about all the supplements that I use. Is creatine safe? Yep. What am I taking for recovery? Someone asked that. Someone asked that was a good one. What am I taking for recovery? I'm looking for hydration and rest. That's pretty much what I'm doing for recovery. But as far as recovery, to get good sleep, I do take Third Z. And as far as getting rehydrated, I use Element or my own homegrown supplement or recovery drink. Adam asks, should I cycle on and off creatine or take it year round? I have taken it year round for years, and it's been great. I have not had any issues, and I've had great performance over the years, obviously. So my formula for me is just take it all the time. Haven't had any issues whatsoever. Have not cycled on, cycled off. I think cycling would be more for somebody that's maybe doing bodybuilding competitions, those kinds of things. They're going to cycle off of creatine in order to shed that extra potential water weight because they don't want any of that. I don't care. I'm looking for athletic performance and overall health. Let's see if there's anything. Someone asks, what do I take before workout? Beta alanine and a banana. Seriously, a banana or 2 bananas, or a banana and an apple, depending on how big the workout is. Haven't changed. Oh, you know what? This is another question. So it came up, the question about performance enhancing drugs, TRT, those kinds of things. So here's the deal. One, I get accused. Probably 1 out of 10 comments that show up on one of my YouTube videos is, yeah, it's not hard if you're taking some, testosterone or PEDs, performance enhancing drugs or some steroid stack. So first of all, I've never done anything like that, never touched anything, never looked into it, because I've always wanted to be a competitive athlete. In the CrossFit world, or almost always, like as soon as I found out that you could compete in CrossFit, I wanted to do it. I wanted to try it. And it turns out I did pretty well. So I want to keep that going. So I've always been 100% natural, which is a silly question. I literally hate the word natty. It's just silly, because I am just a guy that sleeps and trains and eats. This is what I do. And I don't take any bull crap supplements or PEDs or anything to try to assist or shortcut anything. I just put in the hard work. Like, I get really fired up about it, because it makes me really frustrated. So instead of getting frustrated, I have a friend, and he is an Olympic weightlifter. He is a phenomenal Olympic weightlifter. So he did triathlons for years, competitive triathlon athlete. He decided to switch over to Olympic lifting. He gained 30 or 40 pounds. He's a huge human being now. It's amazing what he has accomplished. But he did, I think a year ago, start taking testosterone replacement therapy. I think he's in his early 30s, maybe late 20s. But it was something he was actually had a deficiency. And he made the decision that he's not ever going to compete as an Olympic lifter, but he loves Olympic lifting. So he is taking testosterone replacement. It has benefited him tremendously in his recovery, how he feels every day, but it was probably due to some sort of deficiency. But he's never planning to compete, and he just won't. That's just the deal. I like that. I like that attitude. If someone is deficient in testosterone, and it's absolutely necessary for them to do a testosterone replacement therapy, probably go for it, right? But don't compete. Like, just know that, like, that's just part of the compromise of life. Like, life is compromised constantly. Everything is compromised. Like, you don't win the CrossFit Games and run $1 billion business at the same time. That doesn't $1 million business, anything. There's compromise in everything. You don't take testosterone and try to compete at the games. You just don't. Like, that's just the deal. You don't take any kind of performance enhancing drugs and then try to compete. If you want to get huge and you want to be able to do amazing things, go for it. You still have to put in the hard work. But if you want to compete, you got to let that go. You can't do that. Are there guys that do it? Potentially. Like, there's potentially guys that do it. There's 2 times in 4 years that I've been on the podium at the CrossFit Games. 2 of those 4 years, one of the guys on the podium was tested positive for performance enhancing drugs. In 2018, Sean Ramirez tested positive. I was actually 4th, so I got bumped onto the podium when he tested positive. I didn't get to stand on the podium that year, but I ended up taking 3rd. In 2019, I took 1st. The 2nd place guy, Robbie Perovich, tested positive. So another athlete, Kane Hayes, did not get to stand on the podium next to me, but he did get a 3rd place. In 2018, 2019, 2021, all of us guys at the top were fine. 2022, I'm sure all of us guys at the top will be fine. I think there's very few that are actually taking it. But maybe there is in the off season. And again, I think it's complete bullcrap. If you do it, just don't compete. Take it if you want to. Increase your performance, take care of your body, because the ultimate goal is health and fitness. But if you want to compete, you cannot at any point, at any time of the year, take anything. That's just part of it. It's part of the sacrifice. Like, just don't. You also need 8 hours of sleep. So if you can't get like 7 or 8 hours of sleep every night, you're probably not going to compete at the highest level. That's just reality. It's part of the compromise. Okay, soapbox speech right there. Sorry about that, guys. Illich asks, do I ever worry about it's not something that I take being tainted all the time? I worry about that 1000%. I am worried always that something I'm taking is tainted. Like it would kill me if any of these were tainted, right? This is basically it. I mean, I don't know, if any of these were tainted, then, and if I ever got a positive test, I would say something was tainted. I have no idea. I'm having all of these things tested just to find out, but I swear I didn't. That's what they all say. And then I would be in that category of that's what they all said. And that would suck. So it is incredibly nerve-wracking being afraid until the test results come back that all this is fine. Everything here is fine. These are all normal. I'm not taking any like third-rate products here. These are all like really well-known companies that create ingredients for sports competitive sports. So yeah, it is scary. But every year it comes back. So even last year, actually they did blood tests in addition to a urine test, which I am all for. I don't know how long stuff. You could take a hair sample. The hair samples would be great too. I don't know how long. Whatever you could do to dig in the deepest levels of someone's use. In fact, I think we should be tested throughout the year. If you're a consistent games athlete, I don't care what your age is, we should be tested throughout the year. Absolutely. Surprises. It should be on us to have to do that to prove that we are legit freaking competitors. Okay. Have I ever used hyperbaric oxygen therapy for recovery? I have not. I have not used that. Sounds great, but I have not. Jesse, speaking of PEDs, do you think Ricky Garrard redeemed himself? So, I don't know, man. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one. Throughout the games, I did not win. I did not want him to win. I'm just gonna be transparent. Like, I didn't want him to win. I was not rooting for him. I wasn't rooting for him. I don't feel like he didn't really come clean. I heard a podcast with him and Chase Ingram. I think the CrossFit podcast. It just was elusive, and I didn't like it. His brother tested positive. Like, it was blatant cheating. I just didn't like that. I know that Vellner got robbed of an experience, and I don't know if Ricky ever reached out to Vellner or anything, but I wanted Vellner to beat Garrard. I thought that would have made a fun story. Then, doggone it, a couple days after the CrossFit Games, Ricky did a post. I did see it. It showed up on my feed and Instagram, and it was pretty redeeming. He was pretty grateful. It's been a hard 5 years for him. So I think at this point, I'm going to let it go. I don't know if I'm going to root for him. There's other guys I might want to root for, but I think, or cheer for. He's from Australia, so rooting is not the same phrase down there. But I'll cheer for him. Yeah, I think so. I think we're good. I think it's fair enough. Let's see. Anyone else? Oh, aging adults. Brian St. John, you are killing it. Brian comments a recent position stand paper by the International Society for Sports Nutrition included creatine is safe intervention for aging adults. Oh, it's awesome, dude. Really good stuff. Other questions, guys? Other questions? What do you do for potential pain in different parts of your body? Use ice, cream products. Good question. I don't use any cream products. I don't use CBD. I'm not sure if I trust that just yet, but don't use any cream products. For pain, I generally go for heat. I want to promote blood flow in that particular area. So I'm going to use heat. I might use a massage gun carefully, obviously, but I'm always looking for heat on those sticky or achy parts. I do use some cold therapy. I have an ice barrel, and I will use that for some cold therapy for my whole body to improve my overall health, my overall ability to handle difficult things, challenging things. If there's a bit of a CNS reset, it feels really damn good to do full cold therapy, but I don't necessarily do any ice on any particular body parts if they're sore. I want to promote blood flow, so I'll try to get as much heat and movement in there as possible. Let me just take a look at if there's any other questions. All right, guys. This was great. This was really great. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for jumping on the live chat, guys. This is really fun. Great to interact with every one of you. Really great questions. Is there any, let's see. Yep. Oh, that's right. This is one of the, in the private chat showed up. The other thing I do for the last thing on recovery is, what is it called? Normatec. So Normatec, this is like compression on your legs. Incredible for physical recovery. It's one of the things I absolutely love. Yeah, the Normatec, if you need a hookup on Normatec, shoot me a message. I've got a kind of a hookup with that company. I can get you a slight discount on Normatec. Full legs, hips, shoulders, or just the legs. Jesse, last question that came in. When do I plan on visiting the Mayhem Ranch? The entire month of October, except for 1 week where I'm doing a little fitness retreat in Arizona. But I will be in Cookeville for the entire month of October. Yeah. Hopefully I get to go to the barn. That'd be really fun. So guys, thank you so much. If this has been helpful, share it with a friend. If there's anything that I can help with besides just videos like this, shoot me a direct message. Gosh, two more questions came in. Let me just address these because now they're all coming in. They're so good. Brian, how long do I take off after the games? I took 2 days off after the games, specifically, and then I started Mayhem bodybuilding, which is just going to help me kind of keep some muscle mass while my body is just kind of recovering a bit. And I'll do triathlon training. I'm going to do a triathlon in September. So I'm going to train for that as just kind of a shift. Then I'll be right back. I'll still do some CrossFit in the mix, but I'll be right back to full training in October. And then Andrew, good day. High elevation training. Is that beneficial? It's, I don't know. I don't know if that makes a big difference, but I have found over time, I've almost always trained in Colorado and then competed at the games. Colorado is a mile high above sea level. And this year I trained at 7,700 feet for 2 months before the games. I got down to the games. So I think there's potential that that's helpful. When you're at high altitude for a long time, you're going to develop more red blood cells in order to carry additional oxygen. This is something that you do when you acclimate to climbing high mountains. And it could give you headaches if you're not used to that. If you didn't live there, I've lived in Colorado my whole life generally, but I think that may help a little bit when I get down to sea level. Like maybe I've got some extra red blood cells helping out on the oxygen delivery. It's not going to help me lift anything heavier, but it might help me breathe a little bit easier. Ketafall, if that's how I say your name, I'm doing the Ironman 70.3 in Athens, Georgia. All right, guys, we're at 46 minutes. That's where I want to end it. I appreciate it, guys. I'll share this with a friend, share the channel. It helps support the Masters community. I really appreciate all of your questions. I appreciate your follow, appreciate your support. And I will do lots more live videos because I really enjoy this format. It's unscripted. It's really simple to get through. I get to deliver a lot of content. And again, like and subscribe to the channel so you're notified whenever I do any additional content. And I will see you guys next time.